Welcome back to the PACG Rocket League broadcast. I am still Sleek, and this is still Stents. Surprise. Now, we are returning to you here for our second match of the evening here. Going to be Stanford versus Colorado. This is going to be our first kind of repeat match for any of our teams.
Yeah, I'd love to see what Stanford's going to bring to the table today after a tough loss against Arizona last week.
This wasn't intentional at all in the scheduling, but Stanford and Colorado are kind of the two losers from our last week's broadcast, so there's a chance for redemption for both of these teams. So let's go ahead and look at those rosters, see who's going to be playing with us here.
As you can see, we got a team change for Colorado from last week. They're bringing in Jay instead of J13. I'd love to see what that does to the team, whether they perform better or not.
I mean, just from where I'm sitting, J is easier to say than J13. So that's a direct communications upgrade as far as I'm concerned. So I think that should help them a lot going forward. Across the way, Stanford, same boys you know and love. It's Merlin, Zormask, and Dope Dinosaurs.
Still the best gamer tag we've seen, Dope Dinosaurs. If he plays anything up to the level of his gamer tag, he's going to be doing some amazing stuff out there.
I have to agree. So, we've seen a little bit of Stanford before. Been a few questions about this team and what they need to do to win. What do you kind of see are the big check marks for Stanford? What's on their to-do list to show they've made progress since last week?
They got to stop double committing. They double commit a lot. So hopefully their communication has improved to where they're not sending two guys to do the same thing, and that'll help their defensive and offensive rotations. You don't want to have two players trying to do the same thing at the same time, because then there's a hole in your setup.
You need all three players to properly play the field of Rocket League. You got to play the full field of the pitch, as my high school soccer coach is stressed to my team very extensively, especially when we were playing poorly. But let's see if Stanford's able to kind of pull out that same thing there, work their whole team, make the most of their entire roster, and we'll see if that's enough to pull one out over Colorado here.
I mean, these guys have the brains behind them. They go to Stanford, and I asked every captain before this week for a statement, kind of what they were looking forward to, what they thought of their matchups this week. And the Stanford, he sent me a beautifully written paragraph here with semicolons and just beautiful writing. And it's obvious he goes to such a good institution like Stanford.
Is that an MLA format?
You know, I'm not surprised he didn't cite his sources. I mean, I feel like that's the next step for his pregame speeches to me.
All right, well, he has certainly been doing his homework. Hopefully they've been putting just as much practice and study onto the pitch itself, and will be coming out with the advanced 300 IQ plays that we expect from the red team there. Across the way, you got one of those statements for Colorado? Anything neat in there?
Yes, I do. All of these players, they're Champ 2. They're very good at Rocket League, certainly much better than I am. But they feel like with this new teammate that they're going to be able to be better this week. They think they should have beat Utah last week. They lost in a crushing Game 5, and they're confident in their new team member, Jay, to kind of bring them that extra oomph to get them into the win column this week.
All right, so you said all three of these players are Champ 2 right now?
Yes.
Wasn't J13 also Champ 2?
I believe he was also Champ 2, so...
Are they coordinating this?
I honestly, they must just play a lot together. I mean, that would make sense. They're getting good ranked play practice in as a squad, so they kind of go up and down the ranks together. So, but I really feel like this team change is going to benefit them in this match. I mean, we'll see against a quality opponent like Stanford just how good they are with this new team member.
Definitely both these teams, something to prove here. A little bit of pride on the line. And to be honest, this is going to be really important kind of seeding information for me. Next week, with all the teams having played, some of them playing twice, we're going to be able to start making kind of team rankings here, trying to figure out who's going to be the top dog, start making more serious predictions about what's going to happen as the PACG goes forward. And this is going to be a pretty big game for that.
Yeah, I know myself as a caster / color commentator / analyst / whatever I do here. I'm gonna create my own power rankings after this week, just to kind of have a list here of who I think is good, based purely off of my brain and nothing else.
Not gonna have any like gamer tag factors in there?
No, I think we're gonna be able to put together a comprehensive list that actually means something, or it could mean nothing because it's a caster power rankings, and I could just be stupid.
caster power rankings have a tendency to be not the most entirely reliable thing at times, but not ours. Ours are going to be top-notch. We're basically going to predict every goal and timestamp by next week.
So do you have a prediction for this first game here? I'm not going to ask you for the series. I want your Game 1 scoreline prediction.
Game 1 scoreline prediction. That's the question I'm supposed to ask you. Okay,
I know. I'm turning it around on you. I'm testing you.
Oh, tables have turned. Well, Stanford and Colorado, both fairly aggressive, been a bit more defensive than, say, Utah and Arizona. So I think probably going to see something a little lower scoring from them. Maybe 2-1, 3-2 in either direction.
So you're not gonna make the call Stanford or Colorado in this? You're just gonna give us
what?
a score
And spoil the ending?
Well, we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, we
Yeah,
can
well,
guess.
I'm that good. I can probably just call it.
Trust me. Okay, so we have Stanford, Colorado. Colorado looked, frankly, better than Stanford did last week. They both had the L, so I mean, but I feel like Stanford, even though they didn't play as good as Colorado, they were playing a tougher opponent, in my opinion. Arizona has looked unstoppable so far in the PACG season. So I feel like in Game 1 here, it'll be a 3-1 scoreline for Colorado. And I think Colorado's going to take the entire series in a 3-1 fashion.
You really like the 3-1 scorelines, don't you?
Yeah, it gives me some wiggle room. I'm not calling for the Game 5 epicness, and I'm not calling the quick sweep because, you know, sometimes those are fun to watch, but I'd honestly love to see longer series and more competitive Rocket League.
I do too, and just in the spirit of really liking Game 5s, I'm going to call we're going to go to a Game 5 as we go into Game 1 here. It's Stanford versus Colorado. Merlin in control of the ball early. I like that aggressive play right out a gate. I also like his car.
Dude, the paint jobs on these cars for Stanford, they know you got to look good, you got to feel good as we get into this. Heidi putting the ball on net as Just a Boink centers it, but no one's there to put it back into the net.
And Dope Dinosaurs wanting to throw that back the other way. Zormask, that racing fin on his car, giving him the maximum speed, but not enough to stop Jay from getting the opening goal 26 seconds into the match.
Yeah, the new member of the team already showing that he's comfortable and ready to go with this early goal. I'm honestly excited to see what we're going to get from Colorado today.
Although props to Merlin, was in position to deflect that one, but just the counter deflect's too strong here. Now Zormask clearing it out in the direction of Jay. Sends it into the air. A bit of an aerial battle. Heidi gets the tap. Jay misses it. Dope Dinosaur Tower does not have the angle he wants. No, cannot find that tap, but the boys of Colorado will do just that. Now, Dope Dinosaur circling back around. Wants to clear it out of his goal. It's so close! Jay takes his second of the game.
This is beautiful team play out of Colorado. You have Heidi putting the ball right near the net, so all Jay does has to tap it in. That's beautiful chemistry right there, even with the new member of the team.
And just a lot of good game sense to know where the ball is going to be. You have to plan that in advance. You got to set a course, get you the right angle off your jump. This place, that's not hard. That's not easy to do. Not easy to do at all.
No, it is not. But I'm also liking what I'm seeing from Stanford here. They have all three back on defense, but they're just getting assaulted by the Colorado offense as they put another goal on the board to take a 3-0 lead here.
That's the smoothest looking play I have seen. Like the backwards flip from Heidi.
Look at those
stylish.
Cars. Ooh.
Like
the swagger on the pitch right now is next level.
I mean, especially I'm still hung up on Heidi's play there. The backwards flip thing, that is my favorite play of the PACG so far. That was awesome.
I mean, these guys know it's a Friday night. They're starting to feel themselves. They're putting themselves out there looking good, feeling good as Colorado continues to put shots on goal here.
And now up to Merlin, wants to clear this out, trying to time the bounce very well. Just a Boink turns it around. Dope Dinosaurs, however, is there to answer back. Heidi in control, wants to send it off the wall, not on target. Up to Jay to send it towards the goal of Stanford. Dope Dinosaurs looking to get for it, but Just a Boink with Just a Boink puts so much pressure onto Stanford.
Yeah, that was dangerous there. They had a double commit from the goal there. If either one of them, if there would have been a bump or a miss there, you could have seen another goal for Colorado.
Just another Colorado player there could have finished that off. Instead, Zormak trying to get it out. Dope Dinosaurs and Merlin in the defensive position will stop the immediate, but Jay not to be deterred, gets his third of the match. Not bad for a first game sub.
Yeah, Colorado just looks like they've been playing together since they came out of their mother's womb. It's actually a beautiful thing to watch. The teamwork, the coordination. You would have sworn that they would have been playing together in week 1.
One would think. But now, showing a strong showing here in week 2. Now, Dope Dinosaurs on the defense. Merlin there to support. Heidi falling back for his team. A little out of boost, so that's going to recall and prep for that.
Yeah, for Stanford here, their defensive rotations aren't bad. It's just the offensive pressure from Colorado is making it hard to do anything productive. I'd love to see them get the ball out into Colorado's zone for longer periods of time. And Merlin, you got to clear that one. You can't put your team on the back foot like that. I'll be surprised if this doesn't lead to a goal.
And now Heidi trying to do just that. Just a boink, looking to get his first goal of the game. Not going to find it. Jay coming in hot. Bumps it a little too high, though. Going to need some help from his friends. But Merlin has that and spades. Keeps the ball away from the goal for just that little bit longer. Now, Dope Dinosaurs wants the clear, but Colorado unrelenting, like they can see the future. Heidi takes his 5th.
Yeah, he's just on another level. Heidi, as the captain for this Colorado team, I feel like he's taking the brunt of making the play calls, calling out who should go where, who should be doing what as the game's going on. That's a lot of pressure to be put on his shoulders, but he seems to be handling it like a champ.
I mean, also, just there's got to be some first game nerves here for Jay, but they're just not showing. But Merlin making the magic happen, gets Stanford on the board. That's important.
Yeah, that's what I love to see out of Stanford. Even if they go down 4-0, 3-0, 5-0, they're not going to stop playing. They play hard until the final second ticks off the clock. I would not be surprised if they make it closer here.
I just wanted to point out, Merlin did Heidi's own little backflip trick right back onto him to score. I like the little things like that. That means a lot to me.
I mean, I just love the level of Rocket League play we're seeing here out of both Stanford and Colorado. They both clearly have a passion for the game. As you can see, there's only one man back on defense right now to kind of deal with the pressure as the other two rotate back to help out Merlin there on the defensive front.
Jay hanging out on the side, wanted to catch the rebound. Kind of gets past him, but nothing gets past, just a boink. Dope Dinosaurs steals the spotlight, deflects it away, denies the hot play. Heidi sends it to Merlin, who answers back in kind.
Yeah, if there's one thing Stanford should try to work on here in between games or as soon as possible is double commits. You saw another one there. Thankfully, they were able to. One of them was able to tap it out of the zone to buy themselves some time to reposition themselves. But if you keep doing those are not a good thing to be, getting used to. You'd love to see one player go for the ball and the other two be ready to deal with whatever may happen afterwards.
Because the second you send in 2 players towards the ball, that's one player who's not watching some other position that you need covered. Now 2 people in goal. That one I don't mind. Maximum safety required to deflect the incredibly dangerous Colorado offense.
Yeah, Colorado's continuing to try to get a 6th goal here as there's only 15 seconds left, but they're not going to stop trying to run up the score because they love to see more and more goals on the board.
Also, you got to pad those stats. I mean, as the league progresses, we're going to have stuff like top scorers, most goals in time, or whatever. Colorado, they want to be on top of that.
Of course. Everyone loves to pad their stats as much as possible. I mean, what are you going to show to people who don't really watch Rocket League? You're going to be like, see, look at this sheet of paper right here. I'm at the top. I have the most goals. I'm the best. Let's go.
Right now, Colorado padding their win column for their team. Will take their first match in this set. 5-1. Bit of a back and forth. It was pretty dominant from Colorado, but definitely saw some good stuff from Stanford there.
Oh, yeah, both teams definitely look good. Colorado's continuing their high level of play from last week, and Stanford looks like they're getting more and more comfortable playing with each other. I'm excited to see how they improve in our game, too. See if they can learn anything from Colorado's play style that they'll maybe adapt to and try to stop in this game, too.
We'll see if they're able to do just that. If you want to highlight any real specific areas you want to see them tackle, what would that be?
Well, I mean, you just got to cut out the double commits. Those are going to kill you if you continue to do them. I mean, they won't hurt you every time, but it's just not the right way to play Rocket League. Sending 2 people to do a one-man job is not a good thing to do, especially in Rocket League.
I have to agree. That's just kind of your Rocket League 101 there. My personal thing, if Stanford wants to kind of come out on this game, they need to be keeping tabs on Jay at all times. Traditional sports, soccer, basketball, hold that thought going into game here. Initial bump, kind of just bounce around the middle of the field. Jay looks to get it, but instead, Stanford's actually kind of sending it where they want it to be. Just a Boink in control of this ball, sends it off the wall, sends it to Heidi, does not find the tap, but Jay is there, rolling it into goal to open up our game 2.
See, what happened there is there was a demo early on Jay from Stanford that allowed them that early offensive pressure, but Jay coming in off spawn is able to position himself to where they just kind of forgot about him. He was coming in from Colorado's defensive side, and he was able to get the easy path to the ball and an easy goal.
And never a dull moment here in the PACG Rocket League. Just a Boink already taking it towards Stanford's goal again. Showering popcorn all over the field to commemorate their second goal in this second game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful carry into the goal here. You see Just a Boink following up his shot just in case he missed off the crossbar. That's perfect Rocket League play right there.
Just looks good too. Now play will resume. Still 4 minutes 40 or so on the clock. Zormask sends it towards middle. Dope Dinosaurs in the goal, but the ball deeper in goal. That's 3 for Colorado.
Okay. Dope Dinosaurs there was just caught out of position. He was not prepared for the immediate follow-up shot off of the clear, and that's just rough. That one's got to hurt because he was in the right spot. He was just going the wrong way.
That's going to happen sometimes. These cars do not turn quickly. I want to see from Stanford what they need to make happen to avoid those situations going forward. There needs to be better communication from the Dopes team there to kind of make sure he knows what's about to happen.
That one was a close one. That would have been an epic goal if he was able to tuck that into the top corner of the goal there. But Stanford's getting a little bit of offensive pressure here. I want to see what they're going to be able to do with it.
Now, Dope Dinosaurs tried to make the aerial play. Now it's up to Merlin. Tries to deflect it out of the air. Heidi in the one in control here. Wants to send it off the wall. Just a Boink. Looking to send it towards the middle where either Jay or Heidi. No, he's setting this up for him. Dude wants this goal, but his team not quite there to follow up where you would expect them to be.
Yeah, Heidi was not prepared for the kind of follow-up tap, but Jay is there to finish off that push as Colorado takes the 4-0 lead with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left.
That is 2 for Jay already in this game. The man's hot. This dude is incredible, and if I am the other teams in the PACG, I am taking notes. When I play Colorado, fear this man.
Well, it's not even just him. It's just the team play. His teammates are setting him up, as you see Just a Boink with a whiff there. That one was kind of entertaining, but they're still able to get a goal off of it. That's just good communication. Well, I whiffed. So your teammate's going to come in and clean it up for you. That's beautiful communication. That's what I love to see. Colorado just appears to be kind of finding their way with Stanford here.
Yeah, very strong start, 5-0. Hard to argue with that kind of scoreline. It took them much longer in Game 1 to get a comparable amount of points. What are they doing in this game that's giving them that much more success?
I feel like they're just getting more and more comfortable playing with Jay. I mean, having a new member on the squad, even if you've played with him before, is always going to be rough the first couple of games, as you see Heidi with another goal. See, everyone's getting involved for Colorado. That's what I love. You see Just a Boink there with the assist. Every single one of them is getting a touch on the ball, and that's just a sign of a well-oiled machine.
You know what I want to think? You know what I think's happening in Colorado's comms right now? I think Heidi and Just a Boink are kind of like saying to Jay, okay, you got your goals, play defense for a little bit. You're making us look bad. Just let us play.
I don't know about that one. I was thinking that maybe someone put on some Taylor Swift and they were getting ready to go. Starting to put their foot on the gas pedal here to some good tunes. But as we get into this possession here, Merlin's trying to clear it from the zone, but Jay's there to keep it in. As Heidi there for the follow-up, but he did not have enough boost to be able to tap that towards the goal.
Jay, however, does have enough boost, puts it forward for his team. Just a Boink, crosses across the middle. Heidi in the air, bounces it off the ground into goal. That is 3 goals. That's like a 30-second hat trick for Heidi. He went from 0 to 3 very, very quickly.
The captain decided, hey, I'm going to start getting some goals here. But what happened there is Jay was able to get a demo there on one of the Stanford players. So they were playing 2v3. So you had the two people to kind of get the ball on goal and to distract the other two, and then you had Heidi there just to finish off the goal. It was a beautiful thing.
It's like Colorado's got this lever. Every time they play, it's like, okay, oh, it's on Jay. Jay's turn to carry. Oh, let's pull it over. Just Boink's turn. Oh, we need Heidi. Heidi, you're carrying now. Now just Boink looking to put this one into Stanford's goal. Defense a little too good for that. Merlin looking for the clear. Heidi wants to bounce it back in, but too many members of Stanford here to make the easy goal happen. Merlin does get a decent shot at the clear, trying to carry it away. Does get that dribble going. Colorado answering back on the defense.
Yeah, I'm loving the offensive pressure we're seeing here from Stanford, but I'm getting concerned because every time they have to play some defense, their defensive rotations are looking a little shaky. It looks like they can't really tell who they want in goal. They don't have a set, defensive player that just kind of whoever's there is taking it, and normally that works out for them, but I feel like they need to get a little more experience before that kind of strategy is going to work out for them.
It is still a growing team, and they will have time to make those adjustments. Right now, Zormax trying to adjust the course of the ball midair, trying to get his team some points here. Heidi wants to give himself another one. 3 seems to be the magic number. He can't pass, though. Zormax once again here, bouncing dangerously. Merlin gets it out of there. That's a big play for his team.
Yeah, I feel like Merlin's been taking the brunt of the defensive work here. Even if it's not just saves, he's just in the right position to try to stop the push from Colorado, and that's a beautiful sign to see from the captain there.
Now Merlin throws it towards goal. Dangerous velocity, but Heidi always where he needs to be. Thinking 300 steps ahead is the Colorado team captain.
Yeah, I mean, they might be getting a little bit relaxed, but they were able to, make that defensive rotation back to stop that easy goal from going in for Stanford. But honestly, Colorado's just looking like a better team here in this one.
That's going to happen sometimes, but Stanford, a lot of fight in these boys, coming at rotating back as a team. Wants to stop Heidi, not able to do so. Heidi breaks it to 4, now half of his team's goals in this game.
Yeah, 4 goals on 6 shots. That's just a sign of the defenders not being in the right position, and not, as you can see there, he barely missed that. He was on that goal, he had the right position, both of them, but they weren't able to get the touches needed to stop that goal from going in.
I think if that same scenario pops up like 2 weeks from now, I think Stanford deflects that 9 times out of 10. It's just a little bit of an experience thing. That'll come with time as they continue to play here. Could make it a bit harder to deal with going forward. Now Heidi wants to clear this away from his team's goal. Able to do so, but Merlin there to throw his team back into the offense. Touches it towards the goal. This was a great opportunity for Stanford. Dope Dinosaur's just not quite where he wanted to be, though.
Yeah, with 10 seconds left here, I'd love to see Stanford get a goal or Colorado get a goal, but I think this game's pretty much over here unless some magical things happen in the next 3 seconds here.
Gonna take some hot juggling. The ball is grounded. Colorado takes game 2 in a very convincing fashion. What is there to say other than that Colorado's looking like a fantastic team?
Well, I feel like Colorado's just finding their pacing. I mean, with the team change, they didn't look as good in Game 1. They still looked good, but they looked that much better in Game 2. And I can only see it going up from here. It looks like their communication is on point. Their rotations offensively and defensively look on point. Even when they started, it kind of felt like they were not, pushing as hard offensively in the later half of that game, but they were still there on defense, and they were still there on goal for offense to kind of run that score up a little bit, but not too much. They were just starting to make some flashy plays to try to, show off a little bit once they had the win locked up in that one.
Yeah, speaking of showing off, I know the Colorado captain made a point of saying he thought his team should have beat Utah, and making a pretty good case here against Stanford. Now, as we go into Game 3, this could be match point for Colorado. Well, it is match point. It could be the match for Colorado.
Yeah, but I want to see some fight out of Stanford here. Once again, I think it would be key for them to get an early goal just to kind of get that momentum on their side.
Going to be the early demolition instead. Heidi and Dinosaurs fighting for the ball. Jay, the inevitable victor. Tends to be the thing with these 3 parties. There is the second one. Very limited time. This has turned into a demolition derby very quickly.
I feel like that. I'd love to see a little bit more out of that from Stanford. Maybe not in this game, but as Jay scores another goal to get Colorado off to the 1-0 start in this one. If Stanford can start kind of adopting these playstyles from some of these other teams that have been playing better than they have, I feel like they could get some success. You see Colorado bringing out a bunch of demolitions because it's a lot easier to attack on goal when you're playing 3v2.
It is able to do just that. I do believe Jay has now scored the first goal in every one of these games so far.
He certainly looks comfortable on the team. And you can't really base, oh, is this player better or does the team look better since they've only played one game with each of the players. But they certainly look comfortable in this one with Jay.
Now he sends one towards goal. Sends it to Heidi, just for another tap. Just a boink, sends it. That one's on, not quite on target, actually. Bounces off the crossbar. Feels bad. Heidi tries to give him another chance. Or maybe just want to take this one for himself.
Yeah, as Merlin's able to squeak the ball out there and put it into Colorado's zone here, we could see an offensive opportunity for Stanford right here, but Jay is there to clear it out, even as Stanford players try mercilessly to put it back on goal.
And he does just that, but the demolition onto Merlin when he was the only player there available allows Heidi to score, no problemo. Watch that again, have eyes on what Jay does there. This would be an intentional demolition to throw Merlin out of that one.
Yeah, Colorado's just playing the mental game here. They know 3 is better than 2. They consistently have uneven offensive pushes in their favor, and it's working out for them.
Just basic math. You don't need to go to Stanford to figure that one out. Now, Just a Boink gets the better of a 3-man aerial exchange. Another fatality, another, oh, no, not another goal for Colorado.
You spoke too soon, son.
I did speak too soon. Heidi gets another for his team.
Yeah, Jay was able to get the assist there. I mean, this is just beautiful offensive gameplay from Colorado. Their rotations back for boost on offense to continue to be able to pepper the ball with shots in each possession is just, it's on another level right now. They look incredibly potent with their offensive attack.
And one thing that knows Colorado has done a very good job just is Just a Boink gets himself a solo goal there. This man has probably gotten the most consistent long-range shots out of any player I have seen in the league so far.
Yeah, these aerials coming out of Colorado, you can tell that they've played a lot and they've been practicing those aerials because they're hitting their shots more often than not.
That is Just a Boink's game right there. Now Merlin gets the better end of that initial clash. Jay wants to get control, but crosses it in front of his own goal. Bit of a dangerous thing to do in this sort of game. But now Dinosaurs puts his team on the board. What a shot, what a shot.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to see out of Stanford there. He was ready for the redirect, and Colorado got caught out of position there. That's the first time all game I've seen Colorado actually have to pay for their mistakes.
It seems they can bleed, and now Stanford's got to find a way to kill him.
Exactly, as we go into this next possession here. Colorado's already got it being pushed back on goal.
They're not one to let anyone have an edge over them for long. Jay sends it towards the middle of the field. Just a Boink, not quite on the right angle, so instead he throws it back to Heidi, but Stanford's waiting for them there. Heidi has the ball, sends it there, but no one there to defend for Stanford. It's a free goal for Heidi.
Yeah, you gotta have someone back on defense, or at least rotate back faster than that. I mean, Zormas there looks like he got caught out of boost, not able to rotate back in time to make a stop. That hurts.
Replay cam did show Dope Dinosaurs was in the relative neighborhood, just didn't have the speed on him to make the cutoff. Tries to redeem it with a good early break for his team. That's one thing Stanford has been doing quite admirably, has always been kind of getting the early initial advantage on these breaks, throwing it into the enemy team's goal.
Yeah, a little accidental bump there from a teammate. That's not going to help this defensive situation. As Heidi sets up for a shot on goal here, and he puts it home. The defensive stop was not there. He missed the save just by that much.
Dinosaur needs to be making these plays in goal. We've seen just a few too many get by him for what's really required at this level of play. If they shore that up going forward, though, I think we'll see large improvements in what Stanford's able to do.
Oh, Stanford's making major strides in their gameplay. They're getting better every week. I can tell they look like a much better team. Their communication is more on point when compared to last week. Their positioning is better. They just got to iron out the kinks a little bit, and they'll be able to take down some of these teams like Colorado.
Now, Just a Boink looking to exploit one of those kinks in the Stanford armor. Instead, going to be Heidi looking for the highlight reel play. But instead, it's Jay, the trifecta. of shots off the crossbar is going to be finished off by the new player for this squad.
Yeah, Jay looks like he's not only is he comfortable, but he's just getting that swagger into him. Colorado's kind of doing whatever they call out there. Whatever they want to do, they're able to get it done. So their communication must be on point. I don't see any double commits from them. I see their rotations for boost on offense and defense look good. They just look like an incredible team today.
They're looking very strong. Just a boink. Want to show off just a little bit more. Doesn't find it, though. Now Merlin does get the clear out. Zormask looking to cover his teammate. Merlin's really been making it happen for Stanford here, I have to say.
Yeah, Merlin's trying everything he can to get them on the scoreboard once again. But that defensive rotation was not there, and you see them get punished for it again as Heidi scores for a 5th time.
Is that the most for a single player in one game so far?
No, I think Planting Cargo had more than that in a game against Stanford.
Oh, yeah, Planting Cargo was a little bit on fire last time we saw him.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely feeling himself. He had his controller all nice and good and warm, and he was just doing some crazy stuff out there last week.
Speaking of crazy stuff, Colorado bounced one right in front of Stanford's goal. One of the things they've done really well in their games, though, has been finishing off those balls, bouncing in front of the goal. Didn't quite happen that time, though, but it's definitely been a skill that's come in clutch for them in previous situations.
Yeah, it's 8-1 as of now. I want to see Stanford get another goal on the board before the end here. They're not going to win this one, as Colorado scores again. Heidi with 6 goals on 9 shots. That's an incredible percentage just going in the net.
Yeah, I mean, 9 is significantly greater than 1. It is a little safe to say this one is just about wrapped up. But Stanford still has a chance to prove some of their skills, strut their stuff. Dope Dinosaurs wants to make another good defensive play for his squad. Heidi puts another one on target. He does not stop. 7? Did Cargo get 7?
I couldn't tell you. Starting to get up there. These are the kind of players you want to look out for, the star players for each team. Heidi, Planting Cargo. Those are some names you're going to be seeing as the year goes on, putting up these big numbers on the scoreboard.
Well, they're making big boy plays for the big boy league here. Now, initial jostle, one of our last few of the game. Dope Dinosaurs, he's been doing a good job on that, getting a lot of favorable first kind of breaks there for his team fairly consistently, but the struggles seem to come on the follow-up after that. But Jay, no problems following up. Gets 11th for Colorado.
These flurry of late goals don't mean that much to me because it looked like watching Stanford's play style, they're going all out to try to get another goal. I mean, they want to get more than one goal. I mean, now it's 11-1. They're putting everything they can into trying to make an offensive push work here in the last couple of seconds.
Unfortunately, that just means kind of the defense is going to lose out as a result. Merlin gets an opening strong charge, but Colorado put it back in their court again. Now, ball juggling and will not go in. Bounces off the ground. Colorado take that game 2.
Yeah, that one was not as close as our previous game. 11-1 scoreline for Colorado. Stanford, they don't look bad until it kind of starts getting to the point where it looks like they're starting to get a little worried. They go down like 3 or 4 goals, and they start changing their play style to try to be more aggressive on offense. That's hurting their defensive rotations, and it's allowing these scorelines to get out of hand quickly.
There does kind of seem to be this breaking point for Stanford. They do good to a certain degree. They make some great plays. They put up a really strong showing. But once it gets out of hand to a certain point, they just kind of start letting them go in one after another, and that's how we get these really bloated score lines against this squad.
I'd love to hear the comms in these kind of situations where they're down by only 2 or 3 goals to kind of hear if it gets frantic or if someone's getting they kind of lose that fire that was in them at the beginning of the game when you're ready to go. You know how that kind of feeling of adrenaline rush? If they lose that and that's hurting them.
I mean, you always got to be wondering what's going through the player's head as he's doing things. How much is Colorado hooting and hollering? How much of it is still calculated comms for them? Because it still has to be organized comms on that team. Even when they start to get in kind of that showboaty stage of 9, 10, 11 goals, they're still team plays. And I think that's really impressive. When you get to that kind of advantage, it's real easy to play the hero ball, to showboat, do this, that, and the other. But even when they're in that dominant position, they're just playing good Rocket League.
Yeah, they're continuing to play as a team. They're continuing to try to, iron out those kinks in their own gameplay that they know they're not as good at. You can start to see them go for some more risky aerials just to try to get some, practice in. As you can see here, our final scores of today's matches. Washington State was able to take our early game 3-0 over USC, and Colorado was able to get their first win on the board of this PACG season as Stanford falls to 0-2 on the season.
And it's going to be a bit of a rough stuff for Stanford. We do have a long season ahead of us still as we go forward. This is going to be important for our initial seeding information. Going to have a pretty good idea of how these teams relate to each other going forward. So I know I'm very excited for Week 3.
Yeah, I'm excited to see one matchup. I don't know when it's going to be coming up, but I want to see Washington State play Colorado. I feel like that's going to be an incredible matchup. Two teams that have shown that they're good at Rocket League, that they can close out games when they need to, and that they have the skill needed to kind of take on the upper level of teams.
And speaking of the upper levels of teams, the game I really want to see would be Utah versus Arizona State. Right now, Arizona State looking very hot off their game with Stanford. They're looking very strong, but that maybe wasn't the best test of their strength. Meanwhile, Utah arguably overperforming in their defeat of Colorado. I want to see the hot hand against the hot hand, Class of Giants.
Yeah, Utah's feeling good. They're 1-0 after last week. But they were really tested by Colorado. They went to a Game 5, and even though the Game 5 was not that close, I feel like Colorado kind of lost their mojo going into Game 5. Yeah. And it certainly seems like they have it back after that 3-0 win today.
I think if we see Jay on Colorado in that game against Utah, I don't know if that's going to be, if that would change the result, but I think that definitely means a bit more fire in this team in the Game 5. That one would have been a bit more competitive, and, well, I say this just because I wish I could watch that game. That sounds like it would have been really cool.
Yeah. I'm excited to see as we get further into the season here, we're going to see some traditional rivalries come out, and I want to see if that changes the play style or if the emotions behind the rivalry change the way people play. I know that's what made the Utah-Colorado game so exciting last week, is that we're rivals, and to see that go to a Game 5 and for me to be a homer and the Utes to take it in 5 in a convincing fashion in that 5th game, it felt good.
It did feel good, but just from since it was really good walk, there is no favoritism in this podcast ever. Never. It has never happened.
Certainly not with gamer tags either. I certainly don't make predictions, especially early on in the season, based solely off of gamer tags.
Hey, we don't have to now. We've seen the players. We know what they can do. And, well, we're just going to have to see what they do as we go forward. But I do believe that is just about all we have today. You want to make any closing remarks, Stents?
I look forward to next week. We had a wonderful game of matches today. 2 3-0s, Washington State and Colorado getting the victories. Feel free to follow our Twitch channel, follow our Twitter at PacificACG. And I'd love to see you guys here tomorrow for some League of Legends and on Monday and the future. Just be here every day. We have streams, I think, 6 out of 7 of the days of the week. I mean, there's always something amazing going on. Beautiful production. So we see Colorado taking on Utah in League of Legends tomorrow. The rivalry returns. I am not going to be a homer, and I know nothing about League, so I'm going to say Utah is going to take that in a convincing fashion.
We'll have to see, but for now, that is all we have. I am Archie Sleek, joined here by Andrew Stents, signing off for the PACG. We'll see you next time.
Have a wonderful night.